Okay, so the process of animating in Maya is a little bit more difficult than 3D Studio Max in that they don't have a ready-made skeleton solution. So what I've provided is this file for you guys to use to actually do your animation. If you're going to use if you're using Maya, you're going to want to use this file to do that. So let's go ahead and look at the file a little bit. So this is the robot here. You can see that it already has a skeletal rig set up on it, so you can start messing with it. And we're going to go over the process of animating this character so that it takes a couple steps. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself more frames. There we go. Okay, so let's look at how we move this character. So the way we move the character is I grab the ring right above the pelvis ring, so this curvy one, and then I can actually slide it forward and backwards. Or you could also animate it by sliding it on the ground and then keyframe stepping, which is a bit harder to do because you actually have to make your keys stick, which can be difficult. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'm just going to go ahead and move this skeleton and then move the legs and stuff afterwards. So these are her knees. These knees decide which way the leg points. Okay. So when I drag her, stuff's going to go a little bit crazy, and then we're going to fix it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go ahead and hit S to set a key. And then let's say I want her to take, we'll have her take 10 frame steps, so 10, 20, 30, let's do 2 full steps, so 10, 20. Okay. Then I'm going to drag her forward. So she'll take 2 steps and hit S. So this is what's happening now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select the keys, the knees, and hit S. So they're keyed. And then slide forward to 20. You'll see her legs spin back around. Make sure they're about in the right place. They are. And hit S. So now they're all sliding together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take a foot and take a step with a foot. So I'm going to hit S to give it a key. Then I'm going to go to frame 5. And I'm going to raise it in the air. And hit S to give it a key. Then go to frame 10. And put it back down. So now we have this step. So she's taking a step. Now this is where it gets tricky, is at frame 10, I need to give this foot a key. So I'm going to give it a key. Otherwise it wouldn't be stuck. Otherwise it would start animating at 1. So I'm going to give it a key and then I'm going to go to 15. Give it a key, 20. Give it a key. There we go. So then I'm going to go to 20. I'm going to go ahead and hit S on that key. I'm going to slide forward to we'll just have her slide her foot on the ground to get it in place. And it helps to have a floor down so you can see exactly how close you are. Whatever, so she raised it a little bit. Okay, so now if I hit play, she takes a very simple step. Now you can see that I animated a little bit too far in that process for her legs. If you notice, her feet kind of stretch a little bit, so you got to be careful with that. So I'm going to try to alleviate some of this by giving her different keys. This one is just going to slide it because it's just too far back. So I ever take too big of a step. So here, hit S, so that won't be as bad. There we go. Yeah. So then what I can do, so now our feet are a little bit too far forward, but then we can just go back and fix those, so that's okay. So I'll come in here, so I'll go to frame 20, slide it back. These guys get there, so do that, key it. There we go. Okay, so that's it. So that's a super basic walk animation. So that's 2 steps. Now obviously for the assignment, I think I have you take a couple more steps, and I think you have at least 4 full steps. And then, you know, something kind of happens. So when you're looking at this, what you can do is you can actually fix that animation. So as you walk, you slightly move on your hips. I forgot to add a key, so 5, S, she comes back down, and then I'll go to 15, oh, that's way too far, S, there we go. So now she takes a step, and then you can go in and actually go ahead and finish animating all of the, like you actually can animate all of the arms and everything like that. So the whole animation, I want you to really kind of experiment with these tools. Now looking at this character, if you notice when I selected the wrist and hit W to move, I can't move, right? So this doesn't let me move. What the arms work is on rotations. So if you notice the rotations work, so I can go ahead and grab this one right here, which is the shoulder. And if you notice, that rotates the whole arm. So I can go ahead and she's going to step off, I believe. Yeah. So we're going to have her rotate that arm back. So we go to 5. Rotate it back. Maybe not even go back to the same location. So there's a 10. There we go. Then a 15, get it forward, rotate it back. There we go. So you can see that she's getting more of an animation that way, just by adding the arms. It's giving us much nicer animation. So we'll go ahead and do that for this arm as well. There we go. So now she actually has some arm motion, so this arm goes back a little bit too far. So now she's got a bit of an animation to her. It's a little bit stilted, of course, because we just built this in like less than 9 minutes. So I want you to go ahead and just really play around with this. So she's got like the head controls up here. You just click that and you can move these around. And then, I mean, she's got more controls, like if you want to do facial animations and stuff like that, you can. There's stuff here to do that, but we're not really messing with that at all. Like we don't need to. So this is like her eyes. So her eyes actually rotate and follow, but we don't have a texture on her eyes, so it doesn't do anything. And like these are her brows, so you can see that we can rotate, we can mess with her eyebrows and stuff like that. So that's kind of it to animating in Maya. It's pretty simple. the process of animation is just as simple as Max. They don't have the easy setup of the skeleton. So again, if you're going to animate a walk cycle in Maya, make sure to use this file. It'll make your life a lot easier. And then also use this file for the fight scenes. So you can do 2 of these characters at once fighting each other. Is the idea behind that. So we could just import another one. So D downloads, and there it is, and there she is. So now you have 2, so you can have them fight. So you would just go ahead and like take this one and rotate it around to start first. There we go. And then they could, like she's gonna walk up, and then they could fight, etc. But that's a different assignment. So do the walk cycle first, and then worry about the fight scene.